As expected, so much focus on the mid lane. 3 bans already with that Xerath as well. Irelia going to be banned away from Kubon in that top lane as well.
Yep, and we're going to see the Xerath taken away here. Another mid lane ban alongside the Irelia aimed at Kubon, Pantheon and LeBlanc.
Yeah, and this is going to be likely a jarvan first pick out of Reason here. We know they've been opting for different things in the jungle. Pantheon banned as well. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, as you mentioned and as you predicted, here we go. There's the jarvan first pick instantly locked in. It went through those bans extremely quickly. Pantheon aimed at the jungle of Frederick as well. As an interesting ban, as we haven't seen all that much play compared to the jarvan. But because Jarvan's taken away, where does he go from here?
Yeah, exactly. It now leaves Frederick in a really awkward situation. He has to look for a jungle that can get that early pressure in the mid lane like they used to. Lee Sin would normally be a pick for Xayoo, but he's actually not favoring Lee Sin on this current patch. He's favoring Elise. We've seen that out of a couple of other jungle players here in Europe. That could be an option for them.
Well, Giants are not too phased by that pickup, but they will not even choose their jungle just yet. They'll actually pick up the Thresh and the Ahri here.
And I feel like Reason, they've discussed a lot about this support matchup. Rydle, they think, only really has 2 supports, so they want to either give him Thresh and then pick an Alistar, or maybe pick a Janna here. I know Reason were expecting the Thresh to come a little bit later in the pick ban phase, but this may throw them a little bit off what they were expecting here for picks and bans.
Yeah, and they will indeed lock in that Janna that they're hovering over, and the Corki as well for the bottom lane. So they have their bottom lane locked in here from Reason Gaming. It's just now up to Giants to respond with what they want to do. Now in the other lanes, we know what Pepinero is going to be on. He's going to be sitting on the Ahri. He had the Xerath banned away, the Syndra as well, which Reason Gaming have always been banning away against Giants, indeed in their last series.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure whether Reason had planned this. I was speaking to their coaching staff just a little while back, and they were talking about putting Pepinero onto the Twisted Fate. The problem with that is he's now locked in Ahri far earlier than we've seen a lot of other mid laner pick their champions. That tells you Pepinero needs to be on a confident champion here, because he played Twisted Fate yesterday. It didn't work out for them, so they've high prioritized this Ahri alongside the Thresh. That tells you a lot about this mid lane matchup, and we're going to have to see what Takefun wants from it.
Okay, so we do see the Elise now coming in here for Frederick, and the Sivir as well for Adryh in the bot lane. So we did see him play this yesterday alongside the Jinx as well, that he's also brought into the AD carry role. So they'll be taking up these 2 champions. Nothing new from what we've seen in this tournament, but they'll be bringing into this game.
Yeah, this leaves the top lane still to be picked for Giants, and Giants' Werlyb has played Jax a couple of times. He's obviously looking to see whether he can play that into a particular lane matchup, and Reason have kind of left theirs late as well, just to delay as much as possible. We've seen Sivir into the Corki matchup quite a few times, and it's interesting actually that Celaver hasn't opted for the Graves that he's been going for. He played it in all 3 games against Giants in their first series and got ahead in all of the lanes as well. So interesting he'd opt for the Corki here in this matchup. We'll see what Reason want to lock in for their mid and top. Yep,
so Takefun here, maybe even locking in the Jayce. We did see Jayce picked up yesterday as well, did exceptionally well. Those shock blasts hurt a lot. And that was Forbidden actually playing that champion, and that was banned out every single game against him. And he's going to try and take a page out of Forbidden's book here, and he will be locking in the Jayce. That will be going in the mid lane, and also Rumble for the top lane.
So options for Werlyb right now, he could pick a somewhat sketchy lane matchup with the Maokai, and then just use the teamfight potential later. Other options, potentially, we've seen this come back into play, and they're going to lock Renekton into that top lane, and that's another lane, pretty much a lane bully now, ever since a couple of champions have started to fall off. Interesting that a couple of other champions were still available up in that top lane that he didn't opt for, didn't go for Alessandro. We've also seen the Kassadin into Rumble as well, but we'll have to see how that works out for Werlyb.
Yeah, he also didn't lock in the Gnar either, so Gnar wasn't banned, and it made it all the way through champion select. And this is like one of the only times we'll ever see Gnar not even banned or picked in a game. But as we saw between this matchup before, Kubon isn't comfortable with it, and Werlyb didn't want to play it.
Yeah, and Kubon also, with the Jayce lock-in, had to go for extra AP here. They couldn't run a full AD composition, but what that composition does have is a lot of poke, and then you engage with the Cataclysm and the Equalizer coming down on top of it. So Giants have to be very careful here that they don't take fights in those enclosed areas after getting poked down. On the other side of things, Giants between the Elise and the Ahri are going to have a lot of pick potential, the same with Thresh as well. So Giants are going to have to get those 3 picks kind of working for them in the early game. Otherwise, they risk Reason having that better teamfight composition.
Yeah, and again, we're also seeing the Jayce and the Corki. So I assume that Reason Gaming was setting this up from early in the champion select, because now they have all this siege and Janna as well, just making those shock blasts hurt even more when she has that shield on top of Jayce. But remember, guys, make sure to hit us up on social media at LOL Esports using the hashtag LCS expansion. This is the very last game here, the very last best of 5 between Reason Gaming and Giants. It will be Reason Gaming this time on the blue side. You can see Kubon in the top lane, Xayoo in the jungle, Takefun in the mid lane, and Celaver, Libik in the bot lane for the AD carry and support.
Yeah, and over on the red side, we've got Werlyb in the top lane, Frederick in the jungle, xPepii in the mid lane, Adryh and Rydle down in the bottom lane.
So, let's see how this series works out, because historically, we have seen every series go 3-0, so you would have to assume the first person who picks up the first game will win the entire series, right? That's how it works.
No,
but Giants
hopefully not
came
today.
into this game 3-0 up against Reason Gaming. And now it's their time to say, we have more kick in us than you originally saw in our last series. And Adryh and Celaver will be in the bot lane. Not really doing too much. It will just be the wards going down.
But Giants have stacked around down here, and Pepinero, they, you know, maybe looking to go for something here. If they can land a charm, Celaver doesn't quite see Pepinero, but he now knows it's been warded out. They know that Giants were potentially looking for something down in that bottom side.
Yeah, so they do see at least an Adryh going there, but now the rest of the team will move up to the upper river, but that has already been warded out by Libik, so now they know that the game has been given up. Rydle will actually make this very aggressive play, trying to get that ward over the wall. And he does have that totem. Where is he going to place it? He'll be placing it now onto the Krug camp. So Libik didn't quite see it. It had stealthed up before he turned the corner.
So one of the problems that Reason had in their first series against Giants was they kind of weren't as proactive on the map as Giants were, and Giants were just far more aggressive, just in general. I prefer this setup out of Reason. Xayoo is on you know, an early game ganking jungler, the likes of jarvan, and hopefully he can get into some of the lanes, get a lot better deeper wards into the enemy jungle, and just control Frederick a little bit better, because that was really how we saw H2K undo the Giants lineup. Frederick just got found out again and again, and it's really obvious that if you can find him like that on his jungle camps and punish him for it, you can then control the entire map.
So Adryh and Rydle are actually now moving towards this ancient Krug, and we'll be able to disrupt them again with this one, only taking the small one away. Libik and Celaver took a fair amount of beating, and Adryh and Rydle denied that anyway, so they'll move around here and just get into the lane, but they already have their positioning down. Rydle will put down a little bit of harassment as well. Boomerang Blade will come across, and they have that lane dominance.
Yeah, this could be a potentially difficult lane for Reason to win here. Normally, when you've got a Thresh against a Janna, it's just all down to the hooks, but this is Rydle's Thresh, and yesterday we saw him hit hook after hook, and from that, the Sivir Thresh lane is going to be able to land a lot of damage onto Libik and Celaver, and they have to be very careful of Rydle's positioning, so this is going to be a precarious one for Celaver and Libik to come out of on top.
Yeah, it was more uncommon to see Rydle miss a hook than it was for him to, you know, not hit one. But Frederick now in the jungle will be clearing out the Bramble back as well. Yeah,
there was a bit of an experience disparity from that early camp, and you can see the level 2 for Celaver and Libik hitting it first, but it's as this lane goes on and on. Rydle and Adryh are really going to start to pressure Celaver and Libik in the bottom lane, but it's around that time that we normally see Frederick heading into the middle lane, and right on time, Frederick is looking to get in behind Jayce, but you can see that I'm pretty sure Takefun knows what is potentially coming here, because he's not exactly shoved up all that far. This is going to be a difficult one for Frederick, and he actually thinks twice about it and heads back. This is the problem with this strategy, is you're a little bit easy to read sometimes.
Yeah, he was a little bit vulnerable there, but top lane Werlyb and Kubon going at it. Flame Spitter comes down, but now Frederick will be heading into the top lane. Xayoo drops low. It will be just him going up against the Raptors. He's dropping very low, in fact. He will eventually get out of that camp and will have to make a trip back to base. Frederick now heading into that top lane again, but now going through the bushes instead.
Yeah, and this is what we saw in the H2K series, when junglers are just kind of playing greedy, getting more of their camps in the early jungle and dropping very low from it. Frederick potentially could have changed up his whole strategy and looked to catch out Xayoo if he knew it was coming, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But Rydle looks to be setting up for a hook.
No, lands it onto Celaver in the bot lane, lands the Flay as well. Libik comes in with a Howling Gale. That'll be blocked out by Adryh. He comes in with the ricocheted auto attack and gets some more harassment down. Top lane, Patient Hunter, Frederick in the bush.
Yeah, now Kubon is out in the river. He's pushed up quite far here, and out come Giants from the bush.
Oh, the flash away from Kubon. Another flash as well into the repel range. Gets the venomous bite down, but people coming in from left and right. Xayoo from over the wall. Cocoon lands onto Kubon this time around. Pepperino from the mid lane, and Takefun will be on the backside. First blood goes down to Frederick. Can they get more though? Xayoo will be jumping over the wall along with Takefun. He gets a kill, but now Werlyb follows up. He'll be getting a red buff on top of that. So a 2-for-1, and both junglers go down.
Pepinero beat Takefun out of the lane and got to that little engage first, and that is a good start for Giants, and especially getting that red buff onto Werlyb. That makes that Rumble and Renekton matchup a lot harder at this point in the game, and you've got to wonder how Kubon is going to get himself back into this. They need to get those later on into the game. They need a good fight from that, but bottom lane, Celaver dropping low again. Yeah,
Rydle literally landing every single hook as soon as on, or rather off cooldown. That of course makes it even faster to get the next hook, as you do get the reduction every time you hit it onto a target. So he'll just be landing hook after hook.
And up in this top lane, now that he's got that red buff and a pickaxe and a longsword, Werlyb has so much damage in this matchup, and Kubon has got to be very careful whenever he comes forward to last hit. You can see he's actually falling back and trying to use the Electro Harpoon because he doesn't want to step close enough that Werlyb can just slice, dice, stun him, and, you know, just get himself out.
Well, the junglers are now converging on the top lane again. Frederick has been seen out by that wards, and Xayoo as well did see the Spider Queen. And will now head down the river, maybe looking towards the mid lane here. Still looking at these junglers though, because they will maybe meet each other. Here comes the flag and drag, lands an auto attack. Frederick responds with a venomous bite. We'll push him away. Takefun takes some damage in the mid lane. Pepinero now level 6 versus the level 5 of Takefun, but this is a lane we haven't really talked about just yet. Pepinero now on this Ahri pick, moved away from his Xerath, as it was banned literally every game against him, and Takefun now on that Jayce, which is a new pick that we've seen this turn on him at least.
Yeah, we haven't seen Jayce on, well, Takefun on Jayce all that much recently, especially in the expansion tournaments, so we'll have to see how that works out for him. But this bottom lane, up until just very recently when Adryh did go back, it was going very well in their favor. Now Adryh has a big wave in front of him, so he will continue to grow that lead on the CS. And you can see the damage difference between those bottom lane matchups as well. The pickaxe on Sivir to just the makings of a phage on Corki right now. And you can tell he's had to go that phage just to get extra survivability in this lane. He couldn't afford to go Sheen for the burst because he'd just be too squishy.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be ahead in this lane. They're now pushing back just a little bit, but Adryh and Rydle are about 10 CS ahead.
And you can see out of the jungle what those kills, or the kills in that skirmish earlier got for Giants. The Sightstone very early on after the Stalker's Blade for Frederick is going to give them good control, or should give them good control, but right now it's only really Reason that have got wards out on the map. You can see the vision just in general for Giants is somewhat lacking at that point.
Yeah, indeed. So Frederick now on to this blue buff. We'll be taking this one away and giving that to Pepinero in the mid lane. Takes that one out. And as you mentioned, those items have been now picked up as the laners have gone with their first back. So 1,000 gold advantage to Giants in this game. Not too much of an advantage, but an advantage nevertheless, because in the mid lane, Pepinero has those 2 assists. And if you want your extra goal to be on anyone, it does want to be on Frederick or Pepinero, the big carries of the team.
And we're at an important moment as well, as Pepinero is going to want to get out of that lane sometime soon and get himself into either the top or the bottom lane just to help with a little bit of kill pressure. But we'll see what Pepinero does. He got shut down quite a lot against H2K and wasn't really able to roam as effectively as he normally would. But now it's Frederick that wants to make his presence felt. He is heading into the mid lane.
Yeah, Pepinero uses Spirit Rush, will be coming in with a second charge there. Lands the charm as well. That comes right into a cocoon, and he will just finish him off. Takefun heads into the top side, tries to juke the CC, but is not successful.
Really using the timing of Takefun's flash still being down from the early engage very well, and charms him back away from his turret. Well-worked gank out of Pepinero and Frederick, and that's what we expect out of Giants.
Yeah, there was some questions from yesterday when they went up against H2K. Specifically, the final games were definitely downhill from the mentality of Giants, getting just caught in the jungle unnecessarily. But heading into this game, looks like that didn't faze them at all. We've also known that Giants haven't really been in this situation before either, and Reason Gaming definitely have.
Yeah, they have. And one thing I had a conversation with Xayoo about the other day was what champions he's building Rangers on and which he's going Stalkers. At this situation, he's actually opted for the Rangers on Jarvan. And now that's something that he said to me he doesn't do anymore. Because typically he wants Stalkers for the extra gank potential, but he's obviously farming up very well in this game. You can see he's 39 CS to 21 and has a kill to his name as well. So he wants that extra clear on the jungle. It's just very strange that he's opted for something different than, you know, he was earlier thinking about on 421.
So mid lane once again, 84 farm on Pepinero plus that gank. They did manage to get ahead here in the mid lane. Frederick will be coming in once again. Xayoo now comes in for the counter gank. Cataclysm comes down. Cocoon does not land this time around. Both junglers do have those red buffs and Xayoo will be forced to flash away. Pepinero still following with some damage and Takefun's ready for another fight. In with two of the skies. Repel comes up. Pepinero is in still a pretty good shape with his mana bar. Another flag and drag tries to get in range. Doesn't land it. Lands the auto attack. Flash away from Frederick. He gets out alive. Picks up the kill onto the opposing jungler. Rydle comes in with the lantern, and they were not expecting that Thresh from nowhere. Very
scrappy fight there out of Reason, and I'm not sure exactly why they re-engaged. They thought they could get the damage down, but with the Jayce, they could just stand back and poke, and from there, you don't really lose anything from that fight. But Equalizer in the top lane just to clear the wave. You can see that Kubon is really struggling in that top lane as this Renekton pick has a lot of early game pressure, but Libik, oh, he's been hooked.
Hook over the wall. Adryh is there to meet him as well. We'll be flashing over the wall here. Celaver is there to cut off the attack route from Giants, but they did burn the flash and they burnt the exhaust.
And the other thing that Giants have been able to do here is set up a couple of wards now in the jungle of Reason. They've got that one over the back of Dragon Pit and a pink over on the blue buff. The question from here is how can they control the rest of this early portion of the game? They're 4 kills to 1 up. They are in a good situation with regards to their items. A very important item for Ahri has been picked up, Morellonomicon. That means she can really just roam around the map, get that extra spike of damage that the Morellonomicon and the Blasting Wand is going to give her, and really just start punishing Reason for maybe even trying to contest anything. Although they're going to back away and look perhaps to the top side. This is going to give Giants an uncontested dragon.
They'll take this away. This seems to be the timing from Giants, as we saw yesterday as well. They like to go for those 10, 11-minute dragons. And usually they'll get them, especially with Elise able to tank up that dragon with the Spirelings as well. I guess that's a little different now because it's AoE and will hit everything in front of it. But even so, they will be taking that away with Rydle coming in to chime in with the assist onto the dragon. And that is accelerating their gold lead, plus those hidden stats we can see on the buff as well. But now sitting in this bush, the flag goes down, but he has been caught out regardless. Xayoo goes down. Takefun comes in with 2 of the skies, but it's too late. And Pepinero and Frederick get away, taking down the jungler.
Yeah, Giants just having the vision control knew that someone was going to come through that bush anytime in that next couple of seconds and just pick up an easy kill onto Xayoo, and it's the vision control that they've got, and Rydle uses the box.
Yeah, the box comes down. Celaver gets dragged back into the fight. Frederick is here as well. Volatile Spiraling hook doesn't quite land, but the Cocoon will. Looks for the venomous bite. He gets it, but he repels up. Can he get out alive? But Libik's now being chased down. Bureau Blade comes across. Pepinero was there to secure it just in case. Rydle was able to tank up the turret for Frederick to get out of dodge, and they will take down the bottom turret. Giants are all over this game.
And they're being aggressive again, and Reason just are not doing anything about it. Xayoo has been shut down in this game at 1-3-0, and Jarvan was the first pick here. They picked it away from Frederick not to give him one of his signature champions, and they haven't really made it work. They haven't got to the period of the game where their composition is going to be effective, but the problem with that is Giants took the first dragon already before Reason could do anything about it, and Reason now have a good few minutes before the next dragon, where their composition has to be used just to kind of just siege towers, but they're the ones getting pushed in here as Pepinero is going to get a lot of damage down onto this middle turret. He's going to get it.
Yep, that's the second turret going down in this game, and the second turret will be going to Giants. 7-1 currently in kills, a significant gold lead, and again they're forming this death bush, waiting for someone to come in here. Takefun, Libik are there. Adryh comes in from the mid lane as well, gets the Chilling Smite down, and he'll be dropping where he's down. Pepinero comes in with the kill there, lands the charm, and Rydle doesn't quite land the hook on top of that CC. Either way, 1-0, they got what they came for.
Giants are just moving around the map far better than Reason are right now, and they're using the vision control that they've had. Although they haven't cleared all of Reason's wards out, they're still doing a great job. They're going in.
Rydle with yet another hook. That will go right into a charm from Pepinero. The Cataclysm comes over the wall, locks him in place. Flang drag over the wall as well. Weird placed equalizer. Still managed to pick up the kill with the Flame Spitter. Now Takefun is on the aggressive, trying to get in range for a Shock Blast. Doesn't accelerate it though. And now he's kind of caught out by Werlyb. Here's the hook lands again from Rydle, securing more kills for his team. Orb Deception comes through, takes him down as he comes with another 2 disguise. Kubon sticks around though. Werlyb is in dominance. He'll be getting a double kill here, getting his slice and dice back to safety. Celaver again, hooks again onto the third target this time around, but there's maybe not enough damage behind him. He'll have to flash away. Werlyb jumps into 3 people. Bit of miscommunication here by Giants. Either way, they come out vastly ahead.
The problem is Giants are just taking everything that Reason are giving to them, and Reason are just moving forward almost solo into these fights. The equalizer was in a really strange position, going horizontally across the exit. If that had been vertical, potentially could have been a lot more detrimental to Giants, but Giants are just doing a great job of landing the hooks, landing the charms, and that's what this composition it really needs to do, and they're doing it well already.
Now, Adryh taking down the bottom turret as well, bringing the tower total to 4 to Giants now, and you can see that reflected in the gold totals. 7,000, in fact 8,000 gold ahead of 15 minutes, plus the first dragon going down to them as well. And on the AD carry, that's basically the equivalent of a longsword, so you add that to the gold total, and they are so far ahead of Reason Gaming. I guess the one saving grace here is, as you mentioned in Champion Select, it's a good mid-game comp, but are they even too far behind at the 15-minute mark? Frederick waiting in this bush for Libik, but he'll be backing away.
They've got to contest the second dragon here. There's no way that Reason can just let that go to Giants completely for free, because that extra tower pushing potentially is going to make this composition a lot more deadly out of Giants. Reason need to make sure that in a minute and a half it does not go over, but they're having a battle over the red buff right now, and Reason are struggling to control even their own buffs. And that is not a good situation to be in only 16 minutes into this game.
Yep, that will be Elise going down for Xayoo here. He'll be picking that one up. And now another push from Giants. They're just all over the map, going from lane to lane, consistently picking up farm. But now Rydle lands yet another hook onto Xayoo. Pepinero comes in with the Lantern, doesn't land the charm. Rydle is still on the hunt for a kill and lands a hook again onto Xayoo. He'll come in with the play and disrupts the flag and drag. Unbelievable mechanics from Rydle. Will they pick up another kill? Libik flashes away from the charm, but now a cocoon into the mid lane, burns yet another flash. All the flashes are down currently for Reason Gaming.
Rydle on his top champion right now is showing us exactly why he is putting on a clinic of landing hooks here on Thresh, and now they're pushing on to this inner turret. It will get cleared out. This is one of the things that Reason have in their composition. There's a lot of wave clear and potential to deter Giants from standing in front of them.
Yeah, Rydle is making a strong case in this game for them to have to ban it out in the following games here. But another thing that they have on their lineup in the top lane as well, Renekton is significantly far ahead of Rumble in the top lane. 160 farm to 128 in the top lane. He's almost 2,000 gold ahead of his counterpart. You can see that reflected in the items as well. He has the Hex Drink as well, specifically for that lane, plus the Tiamat as well. Kubon trying to respond some damage, but Werlyb is quite happy to trade with him.
Yeah, he's very happy to trade, especially with that Dominus up, and you can see he's got the makings of a Randuin's Equalizer comes out. A little bit of a missed time there.
Yeah, and doesn't even really hit Werlyb. He'll just turn around 1 versus 3 onto Celaver. Has the Dominus ticking. Can he pick up the kill in return? No, he cannot. Gets shut down eventually. But he's very happy to trade his life for the Dragon going down for Giants. Make that 2 in the game currently. Rydle scares off the opponents just by himself. Mind games.
Rydle even throwing out the laugh there at the end. Just Lantern is enough. And that tells you just so much about that situation. The Reason they're just not in this game at all. Rydle throws the Lantern out. Reason should know that the rest of Giants are down on Dragon. They should have a rough timer on that. And with so many people in the mid now.
Oh, on the hunt has been used. They're going in for this engage. Libik is dropping low. He'll go down underneath the inhibitor turret. Takefun tries to respond some damage, but the middle turret again will be falling, and they'll continue the push. They'll take that one away. And Reason Game push forwards. That's a good shock blast, but you have to feel it has to hit a little harder for them to back off away from these sieges.
You know what? This is very similar to games 1 and somewhat 2 from this very series on our first day, where Reason picked a composition that was good at team fighting or good at poking and never got to that situation. And at this point, Reason have not contested a dragon. They've not really utilized their ultimates together, and they haven't been in a situation to just poke Giants down before engaging. So Giants are just catching people out. And you know, if you can run a composition like this and get ahead with it, it's very difficult to deal with a 406 Ahri that now has a Rabadon's Death Cap as well as that Morellonomicon and another blasting one. She is so far ahead right now that she can just delete anyone from the map.
Yeah, and Reason Gaming, we did see them get stronger and stronger as they came into this lower bracket finals, but Giants are just straight up outclassing them in this game, and we'll have to see if that will continue through the rest of this best of 5, but so far it's not looking good. They will move into the top lane and look for another tower.
Yeah, they're going to look for a tower. Kubon may be in a little bit of trouble here, but the rest of the team is still around. But item-wise, it's not only the top and mid that are suffering a little bit. Trinity Force was only very recently finished by Corki, and he's up against an Infinity Edge static shift. That's a big spike for Adryh on that Sivir, who is going to get a lot more damage now than Celaver is able to put out. Celaver is going to be reliant on hitting a lot of phosphorus bombs in fights, and that means he's going to need the fights to be quite extended. But here's the poke ramping up out of Reason Gaming, and this is what they need to do because Giants aren't strong enough to weather this storm this early into the game.
They are strong enough to take away the Gromp though. That'll be going down to Giants, and now they continue sieging the top lane. Werlyb in the bottom lane has that teleport when he's needed in a fight. Frederick getting chunked down though. Here comes the equalizer. Doesn't hit his mark, but this time Rydle did drag his ally away with the lantern. We do need to see a good equalizer out of Kubon because that could be one of the changing factors in these team fights.
Yeah, it could. Well, it would be indeed, but Werlyb still pushing down in the bottom lane, and it's taking everybody from Reason to stop Giants pushing on, but you can see the poke is too much. They are going to back away, and Giants are going to have to readjust here and figure out what they got to do to break this kind of wave clear situation that Reason have, because they can't brute force it like that.
Yeah, but they are continuing to get stronger and stronger. You mentioned the items before as well. Mid lane is just so far ahead of Takefun right now. Pepinero is able to assassinate anyone he really wants to. Werlyb was in the bottom lane sieging away. And you can see just all over the board, the gold is so far ahead. And in the mid lane as well. 3,300 gold ahead. That's an entire item over Takefun.
That's such a staggering amount of gold ahead there in that middle lane. And you can see Void Staff now completed for Pepinero. He's actually opted, he thinks he doesn't even need the tier 2 boots this early on, and why would he right now? 406 is working for him using that ultimate and getting into position. And this is the Pepinero that we were expecting to show up yesterday against H2K, but Forbidden just ran rampant over him, and Xayoo is going to get hooked again, but there is no follow-up out of Giants. Reason are going to turn and run though.
Yeah. Pretty much as soon as Rydle charges up the hook, you know it's going to hit something. And this time it found Jarvan. Next time there'll be a team behind him, a little bit closer to capitalize on it. 12 and 3, not even 12 and 13. That would be a better situation for Reason Gaming to be in, but yeah, nowhere close to that. They would like to be in that place.
They've been forced away from their base, and Giants are going to get a lot of damage down on this turret as well, even with the Janna shield going up. Reason just don't feel like they want to engage in this situation, and Monsoon out of Libik.
Oh, that is the worst time for a pause. Rydle and Frederick are right in the base, and they go for this initiation right behind them. Not entirely sure what just happened.
That is that's some interesting pause timing. As I mean, so Kubon has left the game. He's disconnected from the game. I'm trying to figure out exactly what is going on here with regards to the fight, because this pause has really messed things up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, let's examine the crime scene.
Yeah, the crime scene is Rydle just got Monsoon back into an inhibitor turret and is losing a lot of his health.
Yeah.
So as soon as this unpauses, there is no escape for Rydle. But it is Giants that have... Was it Giants that have paused? Because I've seen players from both teams leave the game right now as well, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, players from both teams
Kubon
have
Rydle.
left the game, so interesting. I don't know what to say about this situation because this is a very awkwardly timed pause. But what I do know, what we can talk about, is how important in 1 minute and 10 the next dragon is going to be. Because reason, and I've said this the last time Dragon spawned, need to actually contest over the dragon. They have a composition that is very good for it. Why not use it?
Yeah, because they didn't need to put themselves in danger to really utilize their composition, because Jayce sits over the wall, Celaver sits over the wall, and then if it really gets tough, Kubon even like puts an equalizer down to cut off the escape route, or he throws an equalizer down on top of the dragon pit. But they're never really in position either to contest it. So that's something that needs to be fixed before they even try.
Yeah, one of the things that just generally as you start to get these grouped up situations is if you're playing your composition as a poke composition to a good degree, it's actually difficult to get picked off if you're in a situation where the poke is already being laid down. And from their Giants, their engage consists of an Elise cocoon or Renekton going in. And again, that's a very kind of soft engage. You have to put a lot into that. And from there, as you counter-engage, Ahri and Thresh can start throwing out their CC as well. But it should be reasoned situations to, keep themselves around that dragon. But they just haven't wanted to contest for it so far.
Yeah, so far, we're not too sure what's happening. We will try and get all the information to you as fast as we can. You can see the players that are trying to restart some of their computers. That may be the issue. Trying to get back into this game. But as you mentioned, this is a really, really badly timed pause in the middle of a fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's even more badly timed from you because you're going to have to take it away as soon as it gets on pause. So...
that'll be fun.
I mean, I would say here comes Rydle, but there goes Rydle into an inhibitor tower. So
I don't have to say that sentence again.
this could be a fun one when this unpauses. But as you can see, a couple of players are having to restart computers. Just maybe some, I would say graphical errors, but this is an odd time to pause for a graphical error. Okay, so we need a couple of minutes to sort this pause out as well. So let's take a look back at how this game started, because Xayoo really has struggled in this game on Jarvan, and that was the first pick for Reason Gaming. That was the pick that they said, we've banned Pantheon, Jarvan is going to be our next strongest jungler in this game, and it hasn't turned out that way. Yeah,
and that's kind of a major issue for them when they're putting like all of the eggs in the Xayoo basket, and for him to go 1-4-2, yes, he's had 100% kill participation, but 100% kill participation on 3 kills in 23 minutes is then less impressive.
Yeah, it's not been quite the performance perhaps we were expecting out of Xayoo so far, but there is still time in this game. It is only the first game of the day as well, and obviously, as we've been talking about, this Jarvan and Rumble combination should be very good as we're heading into these situations where Giants are going to want to look to siege, and Reason can kind of poke them away and then engage. But the other thing that they really need to land is the equalizer on top of it. They need to make sure that they're balancing both of those big ultimates together and getting exactly their combination working for them. But you can see the players are desperate to get back into the game. This is a very high-pressure situation.
It's a high-pressure situation that Reason have been in before. They faced off against End Faculty, and they were able to fight that and get into the lower bracket finals. Giants have gone from the upper bracket finals in a situation where they're not going to be eliminated. This is the first time in the tournament where a loss here, or like a loss in the series, would result in them just going home. Yeah, and that is a big weight on the mind as well. When Giants have been against Millennium and they've been the underdogs, and then Reason and to some extent been the underdogs, H2K, they've been the underdogs. This time they come into a game and they're expected to win, and they're one game away from either being in LCS or being in Challenger Series for the next year. That is some pressure that, you have to think this kind of new lineup for Giants, at least when it comes to LCS, when it comes to Challenger, that's a lot of pressure on 5 individuals that they haven't had to face before. Yeah, and we saw a lot of pressure in the game yesterday, in the third game specifically, and they started to buckle. So we need to see in this series that they don't. But they're significantly far ahead of their opponents in this one. That's a major difference. This series is actually going very similarly to how the other series went between these two guys. And really, we have to be looking at Reason and seeing what changes they can make between games. Because so far, we don't know how this series is going to end or how this game specifically is going to end. But so far, it's significantly in favor of Giants. And Reason, they had a plan going into this one. They knew exactly what they wanted from Champion Select, knew exactly what they wanted from the early game, and it still didn't work.
Yeah, and Champion Select in some of these expansion games has been a little bit different to what we've seen in other areas of 421. I believe Monte Cristo was talking about he can't believe how far down the picks and bans that Janna and Na are being. And, you know, I've talked to a couple of people about Na on this patch. A lot of people still think he's very strong, but it's for the team fight now rather than his laning phase. And that's actually one of the things Reason was saying kind of as well, is they in the first series said in the interview with Shocks after their own faculty games, they said, you know, we played Na thinking it was really strong, really OP, but it didn't work out for us. We hadn't practiced it. And it's not quite as strong as it was on previous patches. Still very strong in team fights, but that's why Reason have avoided it and why we haven't seen Na in this matchup at all yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's typical like solo queue syndrome where it's just like, well, this pick is really strong, we have to pick it, but then you've never played Morgana before in your life, or you've never picked Na in this case in your life, and it's just like, well, we'll pick it because it's strong, but if it doesn't work, then don't pick it. And that's exactly what Kubon did here. Didn't take it even though it was available. Werlyb felt more competent on Renekton in this matchup, and it's definitely worked out. He's 3-1-1 right in this matchup. He's about 50 CS ahead of his opponent, and he's more well-built than him. So
yeah, he is definitely a tough crocodile to deal with right now. And you've got to wonder, what are Reason going to do against that? They have to, as we said, use their composition together. But I'm thinking, how do they deal with that in the next game as well? Depending on how this goes, it could, you know, still very much up in the air.
Yeah, but hypothetically, if they do win this game.
Hypothetically. Again, I don't think either team is gonna want to opt for the Na, because we've seen Werlyb just pick Jax into it, which again has been kind of discussion here at the expansion tournament. A lot of people are saying Jax is really strong. A lot of people saying not really. We can just punish him, and H2K showed that you can punish a Jax. So I wonder whether Giants are going to be hesitant at actually, you know, picking that Jax up. But one thing I know Reason have worked on overnight, or over the last couple of nights, is their coaching staff actually has increased by 1. As Creatin has been around the studios, as he was playing with Dolphins of Wall Street the other day, I believe it was. And he just said, hey, let me help you out here. Let me give you an added voice into the picks and bans phase. And so far,
well, there's definitely been changes.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. Their comp looks good. It just hasn't. It's the execution again, as always.
Yeah, pretty much. Execution is literally the word which summarizes pretty much every game.
There was some thumbs up. Hopefully, that's a good sign. Normally, that would mean we're soon and ready to go. And I think we are just about ready as well. So,
okay, this will be interesting.
I'm going to let you take this away when this unpauses, because Rydle has just been blasted into an inhibitor tower. The laser is on him, and he's surrounded by 3 members of Reason. Frederick's there for him. We'll see whether that helps him out. But still waiting on the unpause. We're itching as much as you guys are to get into this game. Giants have said they're ready. Hopefully Reason will give they're ready as well, because this is game 1. Oh, no, we're not going into game quite yet. Looks like we still got a couple of little issues. So this is game 1 of a best-of-5 series to decide who is going into the LCS. But the unpause has come through.
Here we go. Rydle is pushed into the turret and will be chased down by Takefun. He goes down. Frederick jumps over the wall. They're still being chased down, actually. Giants are 0-2 in this fight. They do manage to take down Xayoo, though. Werlyb is still being chased down by Takefun, Libik, and Celaver. He will eventually go down here with the dominance as well. Slammed into the wall. Oh, and Pepinero from the side there will mop up the team. Celaver now 1-on-1 versus Pepinero. It will be Adryh back at base, and will they disengage here? Celaver's now on the run.
He is. I'm actually going to...
Oh, he jumps over the charm, but the Orb Deception, he'll flash in over it, but both of them die. And the ace comes in. Shutdown comes out for Corki. That was as explosive as it could have gotten.
And it was all on Pepinero. He managed to take out Kubon to begin the fight all the way away from the base. Comes in from the side, lands so much damage down onto the Reason Gaming lineup. And from there, Werlyb, I believe, picked up a triple for himself. Let's take another look at the replay. Here's before the pause. Rydle gets blasted back into the inhibitor tower. That was the pause. In we go as Frederick gets followed over the wall and drops. And this is the point where we rejoined it on the stream. Werlyb is so infinitely tanky right now that he can just soak up 4 members of damage. And Pepinero has already got the first kill, and in he comes for some massive amounts of damage to give Werlyb the assists on those 3 kills. And this double trade here is pretty spectacular out of these two as Pepinero goes back in. I'm keeping my eye on live as well. Oh, doesn't quite hit the charm. Celaver drops from this, but does manage to get that last auto out for that ace. But meanwhile, while the replay was active, Giants did take their 3rd dragon of the game.
Yeah, those was an insane mechanics at the end of that trade as well. Both of them flashing, of course, Celaver flashing over the charm, and then another flash to hit him with the reverse of the Orb Deception for the true damage.
Yeah, it was really nice. The problem was, as that came on the replay, they were taking Dragon, and Reason were actually pushing in. So I was hoping we didn't have those odd situations. So apologies to Pepinero for not doing that justice. That was a pretty sick play.
Yeah, 6-1-8 now after that engagement. Giants still did pull ahead there. That was almost looking very bad for them as Reason Gaming did punish them. But of course, Rydle and Frederick were inside their base. And when you're inside someone's base at 25 minutes, you usually will die, as we saw in that
This
engage.
is a ballsy play, though. This is... And you can see Blue Trinket comes out. They already know they're there. I don't think Giants are this far ahead to actually take this, especially against this composition, which one accelerated shock blast could be enough to just completely mob the team up in front of Baron.
Yeah, and like the people who were tanking up the Baron as well with the 2 carries of the team, Pepinero and Adryh, which is typically not what you want to do when you're trying to take Baron, maybe just trying to bait them out into open ground so that you can fight them once again. As we saw underneath that inhibitor turret, when there's a laser hitting you in the face, you don't really want to be going for that, but Jarvan over the wall, fighting over the vision again.
It's also very difficult to bait this team into a Baron because between the shock blast from an acceleration gate, wards also do a very good job of spotting out a Baron bait, phosphorus bomb. There's so much that Reason have to check bushes as they move through the jungle that really I don't think Giants can actually set up a bait, which I guess leaves them in an option to actually push for the Baron. And they saw Kubon recall on a ward there, I believe. And they're continuing to do this Baron. It's getting quite low. The poke has to start coming in from Reason.
Yeah, 2,000 health remaining, but that's a big shock blast onto Adryh and Pepinero. They both get knocked up. Baron is still doing damage. The AD carry goes down, and Reason Gaming coming in from behind. Werlyb goes down. Pepinero has to back off. So does Frederick. Baron hasn't reset just yet, though.
Yes, it has.
In fact, it's down to 50% here. So there's 5,000 health here. Frederick is over the wall. He does have that repel if he needs it. Rydle over the wall just in case they need to go for this, but they back off. Baron goes down to Reason.
So in that situation, it looked like it hadn't reset, and Frederick wasn't expecting it to, but as our camera panned up, it actually revealed the added health. So Frederick repels early and tries to get over, knows he doesn't have anywhere near enough damage on the Baron to actually smite it away, and backs away. But all the way back, what were Giants doing? Why would you do a Baron against this kind of composition? Now Reason Gaming have got an exceptionally good siege composition with those Baroned up minions as well. And Giants, that I'm not sure, against Jayce, Corki, Janna, with the Equalizer and the Cataclysm is a very strange play to make.
There was just that one lapse in concentration that has brought Reason Gaming back into this game, and exactly, it just felt like they didn't respect the composition that they knew Reason Gaming had. Jayce, Corki, Rumble as well, and the added damage from Libik when he puts that shield on. It was bizarre.
It was quite bizarre. Something else that's been somewhat bizarre in this game, well, I guess not too bizarre, it's not all the way out of the ordinary, is the Medjay Soul Stealer on Janna, but that doesn't matter.
Pepinero caught out in the jungle. I feel like we've seen this before, specifically in Game 3 up against H2K, where they were behind, and AD carry gets caught, mid gets caught, game ends.
Yeah, and the turrets are going to fall very quickly now to Reason Gaming. They've got Jayce, they've got Corki, Janna as well, so Giants can't sit in front of this or even behind this turret because the poke is going to be too much coming out from Reason. And Giants were in such a commanding position. They really just had everything they needed, and Reason have been brought right back into this game. With the next minion wave, there's going to be a whole lot more poke coming out as well from Reason, and they push on to another tower equalizer.
That's a good equalizer. Adryh drops immediately. Werlyb as well takes so much damage. He'll take the lance, but he's still within the equalizer radius, and they'll take down the AD carry. Jarvan did fall in that trade as well, but they do take the inner turret, and Reason Gaming are playing like a team who have been ahead for the last 10 minutes.
The problem they haven't done yet, or fixed yet, is they've got a big wave pushing in bottom, and Deficio's talked about this a lot, wave management. But right now, Reason are taking so much across the map that doesn't actually really matter. But Werlyb comes in from the backside. Frederick has already fallen. What can Renekton do here?
Well, he's going to try something. He's cut off the rest of the team. Rydle's here along with Pepinero, but he's very low. Hook lands on the Celaver, though. He'll drag him into the fight. Monsoon comes up. Kubon as well, trading off against Rydle. He'll go down as well. Werlyb came in for the engage, but his team died before he was able to do anything. And Reason Gaming will continue to push. They'll take the ender turret.
They have completely turned the acceleration on as soon as that game unpaused, and Reason Gaming have not let up in the last couple of minutes either. And it was a nice attempt out by the teleport play from Werlyb, but the Janna Monsoon is just too good. Disengage against this lacking hard engage composition from Giants, and that was the problem that they couldn't let Reason Gaming take advantage of. Without the hard engage, poke is so difficult to deal with.
Well, Baron has just expired. Now that it's only 3 minutes, they will use every last second of it to take away 2 inner turrets and an inhibitor turret as well. That's completely exposed the upper inhibitor there from Giants, and they made the best of that Baron. They have not only equalized the turrets, but are now 1 turret ahead of Giants in this game, and they've equalized the goal total. Remember 10 minutes ago, Stress, they were almost 10,000 gold behind. Now they're ahead.
They were, and that has blown this game wide open. Still 3 dragons in the favor of Giants. This would be their 4th, but this one surely Reason have to feel more confident about fighting over. They've got it warded. They need to get in a position to poke down Frederick because they can't let him sit in front of that. They're fighting over wards right now. They've dropped the dragon quite low. In goes Xayoo.
Oh, Frederick picks it up though, and they will be chasing after that Renekton. I'm not really sure what they were doing. They were happy and content to take away the wards, and they were just chasing the Renekton.
I mean, Giants will take that any day of the week, though. They pick up their 4th dragon of the game, and with the way the game is flowing, this could potentially be the first game we've seen all 5 dragons being picked up, and that puts Giants right back into this game. They, were slightly on the back foot, but picking up that dragon is another big boost of stats that Reason are going to have to deal with, and they don't feel quite so confident without the Baron buff on them. But you have to feel that they can just land their poke, stop Giants from pushing in, and maybe look to contest the next Baron.
Yeah, and not only the Baron, but also the Dragon as well, Stress, because that's 5th Dragon now if they take that. And, we've harped on about how much Reason Gaming need to contest, especially with their composition, with all that poke. But when the next Dragon comes around, they absolutely have to contest it, because 5th Dragon going down with that true damage over time, with doubling all of the other boosts that they have from the rest of the stats, it's insurmountable. Like, Reason Gaming will not be able to stop Giants if they do take it. That's in around 5 minutes time now. It's been around a minute since the Dragon's gone down. But again, we have a pause at a slightly more convenient time this time around.
Yeah, this one's a little bit better. I have some time to talk on this one. It's not quite so we unpause and then go straight into a team fight. But this gives us a good opportunity to catch up on some item purchases and the like that have happened over the last couple of minutes. So what do we got that is new in this game? Yeah, so bottom lane, we're looking at the AD carries, and Adryh is actually only sitting on 2 big items at the moment. He has the Static Shift and has the Infinity Edge as well, but on the opposite side, 3 big items completed and the Sorcerer's Boots from Celaver. And that tells you a lot about how the last 10 or so minutes have gone for Celaver. He's managed to pick up a good few items, whereas the last time we really looked at Sivir, it was the Infinity Edge Static Shift. Yeah. And she's in a very similar situation now. A lot of the way towards the Last Whisper as well has the Vamp Scepter on top of it, but thankfully that pause wasn't actually a very long pause, and we are already back into this game. We are indeed. So bottom lane though, there is a big push coming out from Reason Gaming. Giants though are looking to react to this, but Werlyb is way ahead of the team. He has got that Elixir of Iron, so they will be able to catch up to him a little bit faster with that trail, increasing the movement speed from the rest of the team. It's like a super Nocturne Dustbringer. Yeah, that is one way of putting it. the other way of putting it is, you know, just makes him bigger. Lets him soak a lot more.
There's other things that do that as well. But we do have Werlyb in the bottom lane, tanking up some of the damage here underneath that turret. And Rydle and Frederick off to the side. Xayoo is a little bit cut off here, but they completely stymie this push. The Giants have done the job that they need to do, but Reason Gaming is sticking around. They are sticking to their guns, and the poke comes forwards when you really hit Ahri.
Yeah, but this is a situation that Giants really have to be a lot more conservative with. They cannot afford to have Reason turn up the dial with regards to the poke here, and that is exactly what Reason want to do here. You see they're utilizing the inner turret shields. It makes the poke a little bit less effective out of Reason, and Reason are going to back away because of it. They just are not getting the work that they want done in this bottom lane, and big lane push, a big wave pushing in on the top side. Teleport's going to be used by Kubon, and with 40 seconds left until Baron respawning, that's a big cooldown that they may need to use to get Kubon into the fight. Yeah,
I mean, he teleported across the map for, yes, a large minion wave, but there was a minion wave of his own coming in, and the turret was doing a decent job of clearing it, so really all he teleported over for was the gold. So unless there's a big item he really wants to finish off in the next couple minutes, maybe a Rylai's. He does have the commands. In fact, yeah, there's a Rylai's. So maybe he was just looking for that one. But as you mentioned, that's a very big summoner to go down with Dragon and Baron on the horizon. Baron just spawning.
Yeah, Baron is up. We'll see whether the Giants make another play for it. I honestly don't think they will. I think they probably learned that lesson the last time. And Giants should, however, control the area. That is still something that is on their to-do list. And you can see, we'll clear out the pink wards here. But Reason are just a little bit too close, and will maybe take the pink ward for themselves. There's a bit of a stalemate over the small little river bush there.
Yeah, but Reason Gaming were in a better position there. Frederick is still back at base. He's waiting for something. And he does have one Giant's belt, so we'll see what that's going to be, but he's still in place. In fact, what are you doing?
Warden's Mail.
Warden's Mail, okay.
Yep. So against quite a lot of AD from the Jayce poke, jarvan as well. Wants a little bit more survivability, but there's a lot of magic damage on the side of Reason as well. Between Rumble and Corki, they're going to be outputting quite a lot of magic damage that they have to start dealing with. They got that Locket of the Eye and Solari already, have had that for a very long time in this game so far. But we are 34 minutes in, and the reason they're going to say, we don't actually need the Baron right now. We're going to rush straight up mid because we've got a better composition for sieging towers, and they've cut Giants out of their base. And with that Jayce with Hypercharge, they may be able to get significant amounts of damage done on this shield once the minion wave arrives.
Well, they've outpositioned Giants. Frederick is off to the side, so is XPepii. They'll have to go for this hard engage. Kubon has been caught out. Flash into the charm. A flash exchange from Kubon as well. He'll be trying to get a range with that Spirit Rush, but will Duke out of the way of the Howling Gale. Chinix might come down onto Takefun as well. The Cocoon doesn't hit anyone, really. Cataclysm onto 3 members, though, and he will go for this engage regardless. Rydle doesn't land his hook this time, but Xayoo goes down, and this is not a good fight for Reason Gaming. They'll have to back away, but Werlyb overextends. Frederick is too low as well. He's sticking down. Last rocket from Celaver picks him up. Both of the junglers are dead and buried. Rydle also dropped, and now Kubon's tanking up the laser. Doesn't want to be underneath that for too long, but Adryh has to take a trip back to base, and they will use this advantage to take down the middle inhibitor turret.
Yeah, it results in a much better ending of the fight for Reason Gaming after they were able to turn, and Werlyb overextended. He's going again.
Yeah, he's going in, but with 25% HP, and that does not save the inhibitor and just makes it even harder for his team to defend. So Renekton goes down pretty much for no gain at all. 7, 4, and 3, now adding an extra death to that total.
So at the beginning of that fight, Reason hadn't landed a lot of poke, and Giants said, okay, we've got the kind of situation where we can get a pick off here as Xayoo came into the fight. Got a Cataclysm, but Equalizer had already been used slightly away from it. And at that situation, it's very difficult for Reason to land that poke in those short engaged situations. But Dragon is up in the next couple of seconds, and with Frederick and Xayoo back on the map, Giants are looking to contest for their 5th Dragon of the game. Xayoo is around. Can he steal this away? This would have to be a massive pick.
This is so important, though, but Celaver goes down. Can he get the skill? No, he cannot. That's 5 dragons. Xayoo is caught in the middle of the pick, and he gets destroyed, but a shock blast comes through, takes down XPepii. They take down the AD carry as well. Rydle's also caught out onto the top side, and they are just running down Giants. Was that dragon worth it? giving up your position.
Right now, it hasn't been. Frederick is going to fall as well once they catch on to him. Inhibitor is already down in the middle lane for Reason Gaming. 5 dragons were secured by Giants, but they may just lose a lot for this. Turret in the top inhibitor range just fell to a large stack of minions. Now they're going to push on towards that inhibitor as well. And this is a very back and forth game that Reason Gaming will look to deal critical damage to the base of Giants on.
Reason Gaming have 15 seconds here. They'll take the top inhibitor. I'm not sure they can do much more than that. Werlyb is very tanky, but he's not dealing a lot of damage. He can't really even kill the support here. It will take him low, but that was his entire combo. There goes the inhibitor, but now they have to be careful. Home guards have been picked up here by Giants, and they will punish them if they stick around for a second too long.
Yeah, Werlyb can't even cut off the Reason Gaming members because he tried to use his teleport in that fight, but the call was made that it was already over. He cancelled the teleport and tried to clear the minions out, but it was a little too late to actually hold that turret. Now Reason Gaming are going to start taking the Baron objective. This time it's them that started. Giants aren't the ones to begin, and Giants have pushed so far back into their base with those 2 inhibitors down that for now, Reason should be able to get this. Frederick is around, but I don't think he's going to get in. Baron and 2 inhibs in exchange for that 5th dragon.
Yeah, just too late to the punch, too late to the party. 4,000 gold ahead now, Reason Gaming. 2 towers ahead as well. They have 2 inhibitors down on Giants. And this is now looking like Reason's game to lose. From a situation where it's just like they show no signs of life, Giants were running all over them. As soon as we had the that weird push into the base, they just ran them down, and Reason Gaming have just never looked back.
And on top of that, the very weird Baron call as well. Giants just starting it up. They hadn't got a pick with their composition. They hadn't really cleared all of the wards either, and Reason were just like, okay, this is where our composition is going to be successful. And there's some big, important items that have been picked up on Reason here as well. Mercurial Scimitar onto Jayce. That's going to pretty much just disengage from any charms that you can. The same with a Banshee's Veil is going to stop stray charms hitting Celaver. Zhonya's Hourglass on Kubon. Again, there is just so much defense from these single target kind of lockdown situations that right now, Giants have got their work cut out for them. It is not over for Giants. They have that massive spike of damage from that dragon, but the question is how long is left on the timer?
Well, Reason Gaming are going to be taking this inner turret down here, and they'll continue the push. Rydle as well in this inhibitor turret. They'll be trying to hold the line here, but with the extra added pressure of those super minions pushing in the middle lane, really, Reason Gaming just have to take this slow. They still have the Baron buff on themselves as well, and while they are able to take down this minion wave, there's another minion wave right behind it.
Yeah, this is a difficult one for Giants to clear out. It means that Adryh and Pepinero have to step somewhat further forward than they'd like to right now and eat a bit of poke. But Reason are just ramping this up, slowly but surely. 21 kills to 21. This game has suddenly become much closer than Giants would have liked it to after they began in a very commanding position. They shut Xayoo out early on, but he's managed to find himself a good few picks. In they go. On
the hunt used by Adryh, and they clear out the minion wave and back off to their turret. So the big ultimate down from the AD carry, which will not only their initiation, but Xayoo gets hooked here. Rydle will go all the way in. He lands the box and lands the flay, but they already disengaged. Celaver's caught out here, and they have to re-engage to save the AD carry. The flash through from Werlyb. He'll take down that AD carry. Pepinero's on the front lines, but he's dropped very low, and Takefun will take him down quite easily in the middle of the fight. 1 for 2 so far in favor of Giants. Kubon gets locked up by the charm, but now the rest of the team, Giants are incredibly low, but they are still taking them all out. A triple kill for Adryh, 4 for 1.
Rydle flash hooked earlier, but that time landed the hook onto Xayoo. There are minions pushing in through the top side, so Giants cannot really convert this into a massive lead right now, but that was a big defensive push out of Giants, and this game again has been blown wide open because that fight was very messy out of Reason. They weren't landing the poke. Giants just kind of stood there and got that initial pick. Celaver got pushed so far into the fight that they couldn't disengage from Libik. He tried to get out, but wasn't quite successful. Werlyb followed him, and now Giants are going to look to push. 12 seconds on Xayoo, 8 on Celaver. Reason can defend this, but this game is completely open to any team right now.
They tried to push in the middle lane, but there's no minions, and they'll just have to back away. So Giants, yes, they won that fight, but they lost a Nexus turret for it. So overall, Reason Gaming, they was struggling to finish off that final the final inhibitor turret, but they get a greater prize of that Nexus turret literally just by fighting and stopping them from going back to the Nexus.
Sixth time is the charm for Reason. Come on, you gotta defend this dragon. Another dragon going over to Giants will refresh that 5th dragon buff and put them in a very promising situation on the side of Giants. Reason this time, they're in position ahead of time. They can get the wards down. 20 seconds remain on that timer. Inhib will come up at a very similar time to Dragon, so Giants can afford to push out. They've cleared all the minions. They're setting this up, but are they in position quick enough? Reason have got some wards down, but Reason potentially could rush this down. Pepinero just took a massive shock blast, and that will drop him low. Surely that is enough for Reason to pick up their first dragon of the game 42 minutes in.
Yeah, they should be able to pick this up. Frederick is thinking about going in, but someone dying at this stage, especially the jungler, in fact anyone, will turn it into a 4v5, and numbers count more than anything at this stage in the game. 43 minutes in, and Reason Gaming will easily take that one away.
Yeah, Reason Gaming now their first dragon of the game, very late on. Gives them a little bit of damage spike, and that's great, but they haven't really been suffering all that much when it comes to damage and pushing objectives down. They've got this good pushing composition with the Jayce and the Corki. The next key objective is in just under 2 minutes time, as Baron will respawn. It's on Reason to push Giants back first and then look to take the Baron if they need to, but if the poke is too much that's going to come out from Reason, then Giants may very well just fall before that. But Sivir has just picked up a Guardian Angel. It's going to make it more difficult to get on top of in these fights. But if they take poke for too long, then Giants just could end up on a very precarious position.
So top lane now, Reason Gaming again moving into this top lane. The inhibitors are exposed and Giants will be in range to try and defend this. Frederick is very tanky right now, has a lot of defensive items. It was also gone for that Juggernaut enchantment, so taking a page out of Xayoo's book. And Reason Gaming continue this siege. And as we mentioned all the way back in Champions League, so far long ago now from this point into the game, stress that Reason Gaming have a strong siege composition, they have a lot of poke, and you'd have to feel that at this stage in the game, this is exactly what they're built to do.
Giants with a Sivir and an Ahri, though, can clear the waves out fairly easily, and that is a little bit of an issue. And you can see Adryh has picked up that Wrath Elixir as well, so he's going to have extra life steal in these fights. Just make her even more difficult to kill. Make sure that even between the pokes, she can just regenerate so much of that health from her wave clear. Big wave pushing in the bottom side, though, for Giants. Reason, if they send somebody to deal with that, will end up with a bit of a mistiming here. With regards to Baron spawning in 10, oh, Frederick.
He cannot get caught out here, but the Cataclysm comes out, Repel comes up. The team, are they there in time? But they'll maybe have to go for this fight anyway. Rydle will place down the box for the disengage, but 63 seconds down under. And Frederick, this is not looking good. There is a big bottom wave, but Reason Gaming aren't going to care if they can finish out the game.
No, Reason are just going to start pushing through. No need to take the Baron. They can now take down the 2 inhibitors. We've seen them have issues closing out games, though. They did the other time start for a third, but in they go.
Oh, Xayoo just walks in by himself, and Giants will turn around. Frost Queen's Claim will come down and slow down the team, but still, the Randuins comes out. Takefun has to use his Mikuro Scimitar, and now Celaver almost caught out again, but will be Valkyrying away. They're still on the hunt, but Adryh's ultimate is now turned off, and now Reason Gaming even looking to engage on them again. Rydle is very low, but an engage either way, we don't even know how this next fight's going to turn out.
Inhibitor tower goes down in the bottom lane in favor of Giants, and Xayoo, they've had trouble closing out games, and he looked for a pick onto Rydle right at the end, but he was alone. The rest of Reason wanted to go top. And just communication breakdown here. They're going to have 30 seconds now where Baron is available for Giants maybe to look to take away here. That's what they're actually going to start. They know there's no smite available for Xayoo, and this has been incredibly back and forth from Reason looking to be able to close it out. They're going to start and being, you know, Giants are going to start the Baron.
Oh, there's the 2 big poke champions, though. Pepinero can get a catch. He'll be good to go. But the the Baron is going down here. It will go over to Giants this time around, but Yes, they'll give them the extra AD and AP, but that's a big equalizer onto Werlyb. He'll have to use dominance. He'll get that away, but maybe he's just left Frederick out to dry. Charm will come across and cut off that, but some area denial. Shock Blast comes through, lands onto the backside of Rydle as he's escaping. Damage control now from Giants, but they get out alive.
Yeah, Giants get out alive. Xayoo is back on the map, and Reason, they've been in such a good position twice now in this game, and Giants have just managed to hold on. And Giants have had the advantage for so long in this game. It got turned back against them with that very risky Baron play. This time, Giants will secure the Baron for themselves, and it'll be Giants that should be on the aggressive in this kind of situation. Yes, they have an inhibitor down, but my goodness, this game, for game one of a series to decide who's going into LCS, has been very back and forth and has been very scrappy.
Yeah, this is only game one of a best-of-5 series. And the timer in the game doesn't even tell the tale, as we've had pauses as well. But in this game, we can see the trinkets all completed, and we're rapidly approaching full item builds from both teams. 1 minute now until the Dragon. We've said it before, Stress, but we're going to say it again. We need to see Reason Gaming try and contest this from Giants.
Now more than ever, because a 5th Dragon refresh on their buff, plus Baron, plus an exposed inhibitor in the bottom lane, should equal Giants being 1 game up in this series, because that is insurmountable odds to deal with that buff, plus all of the extra minions. Reason have to have a do-or-die moment in the next 30 seconds. They have got to stop Giants from taking anything here, and they're pushing for it. Reason are looking to kind of position here. It's a very tentative spot. Werlyb is quite far away from the fight, but so is Kubon as well, and it's all on this initiation here. Giants are going to look to push. They don't even want the Dragon so far. They're making sure Reason are as far back into their base as possible. That still leaves Reason in a do-or-die moment, and you have to feel like it's on Xayoo's shoulders here. He's going to have to engage on somebody sometime soon, because Giants are going to just ramp up their objectives again and again.
Well, Giants are pushing them all the way back into their base. Reason Gaming lose their inhibitor here, and Giants loop back onto the Dragon. It's now a question of how fast Reason Gaming can respond, because Dragon is live. In fact, they may just bait it out, but the double sweepers, or rather the double blue trinkets, come down. They will be seeing this one out. Rydle jumps over the wall. Who's going to be taking the lantern? Frederick, the only one who really can't jump over the wall,
Frederick's
is the one who's left behind. Yeah, the guy with the smite. He's the person you need. He does have the flash, though. They might get the kill here. They've got the Dragon. Can they turn around here? They will go for this engage. Werlyb comes in from the backside. The equalizer comes out. Oh, everyone is getting incinerated, but that Dragon buff is so incredibly strong. Both junglers fall. Kubon steps too far forward. He goes down. Pepinero will be using out of the shock blast. Now Rydle as well. He's been caught out. Jukes into the bush. Down goes the wall. They'll pick him up. Giants are now on the back foot as they juke into the bush, cut off the vision. Adryh gets caught out here. Pepinero will be going down to Celaver, and Adryh also picks up the kill onto support. Werlyb is still alive, but he's retreating back into the base. Celaver now up against Adryh, comes in with the triple kill, a 4 for 3. Werlyb teleports back to the base. They are super minions knocking on the front door.
They've got to try and get something from this for a reason. They've got a good amount of time here. The question is, Werlyb, when he gets back to the fountain, is he too tanky for Celaver and Takefun to deal with? But at the beginning of that fight, Frederick just was not in position to get into the Baron, into the Dragon pit. And from there, yes, Giants got the Dragon, but there was so much damage down on top of it as soon as they were in a 5v4. Celaver wants to push.
Well, they're going 1-on-2. Werlyb, can he make it work? Takefun taking some damage, but he needs to be careful with that laser. It will slow you down and you will get caught inside that. Takefun and Celaver, they are in time to take away this inhibitor.
They can get 2.
But the respawn is coming out from Frederick as well.
They can only get 1 at this situation. Frederick is back up. Reason are in a very similar situation. Werlyb wants to chase this. Celaver is going to have to turn and try and put some damage down, but he knows Werlyb is closing in on him, but the acceleration gate is just enough, and Celaver will breathe a sigh of relief in this situation. Inhibitor, 5th Dragon. Baron will be up in about 3 minutes maximum. And we're again into a very close situation here. They are trading what should be game-winning objectives between the teams, and neither team has really found the position to close this one out.
Well, this is by far the closest game we've seen in the EU LCS expansion tournament to date, and in the very last series as well. These guys are fighting tooth and nail for that LCS spot, the 10th LCS spot, the very last one to come out of this tournament. 9-6 turrets as well. At the moment, gold doesn't really mean anything, as everyone is basically capped out anyway. Maybe just looking at their final items, but Giants, honestly, it's just a coin flip who gets ahead here. And even with the Dragon, though, Giants didn't categorically win that last fight.
No, they didn't. They took so much damage out of Reason with their poke, and they split up, and it's easy pickings there. If Pepinero's on his own versus multiple people, there's nothing he can do. The same with Adryh. They just don't have the damage. Sivir, this late into the game, really struggles against high health targets, and the problem for Reason is they, you know, as tanky as some of the members are, they actually aren't that tanky at all. It's only really Xayoo that has some health, so Adryh still has a lot of damage, but Celaver really put it on himself in that fight. Picked up, I believe it was a triple kill. Yeah. 1 minute 15 until the Baron, and Reason are going to push through the bottom lane. Are we going to see some kind of funny situation here where Reason get cut off and Giants push into the bottom side? Because Giants are a little bit split up here. Kubon also is not with Reason, and you can see the thought processes. Giants want to trap them in, attack from multiple sides where you can't take poke front on, but they are not opting for it. Frederick is in a very dangerous situation actually out to the side, and they know that they just spotted Werlyb on a ward as well.
Well, this is maybe the third time that he's called out here. Reason Gaming have managed to get their first pick on Frederick, and this may be third time lucky as well for them. They'll get the Cataclysm down. In comes the Repel as well. He'll go back to his team. This time the team is there to follow up. We'll be pushing away with the Thundering Blow. Blue Wolf goes over them. That doesn't really matter at this stage, though. Werlyb is still tanking up the damage. Shock Blast comes through. There's the flag and drag onto the Crocodile, but he's still tanky. Rydle is that brick wall as well alongside him, but Giants are getting poked down.
Yeah, and you can see that a charm looked like it had landed on Celaver, but the Banshee's Veil buy has been so important right there. That could have spelled trouble, and ooh, Celaver dodges out of another cocoon here, and now they're ramping up the pressure for Reason. They expended a lot on that, but they did weather it, and Giants now, again, they're going to have to sit in front of this turret. This is where it went so wrong for Reason the last time, though. Giants cleaned up 4 members the last time they were in that situation. But Baron is up. Dragon is up in 1 minute 20. We're 54 minutes into this game between Reason and Giants, and neither team looks like they want to crack anytime soon. This is only game 1 of a best of 5.
Yeah.
And this is sure to be a very exciting series if all of the games are like this.
Yeah, we've had this game going for so long. Libik is actually sitting on 461 AP.
Wow.
He has the Death Cap and the Medjai's, and is now building apparently towards another AP item. So he's going to be actually hurting quite a lot.
He's getting them shields out.
Yeah.
That is another factor here. So yeah, he's going to be able to heal up a lot with Monsoon. But we're into this situation again. The Baron dance is on. Reason have the composition for this. Said that about 20 million times this game, but it will never stop being true.
Yeah.
As long as they've got this kind of composition, it is always going to be relevant. Inhibitor's still down in the middle lane. It means that Giants have had to push up quite a lot just to kind of stop them from getting forced away, because they only have 1 Nexus turret right now. And Reason, Dragon is up in 20 seconds, and oh boy, is this a choice. Reason have got to decide, do they want the Baron? Do they want to stop Giants getting the Dragon? Who gets the position on this 5th Dragon against Baron buff this late into the game? And Giants are being very clear on what they want, and so are Reason. This is a completely weird situation. We do not find ourselves in. Reason are not pulling the trigger on this. They still don't know where Giants are.
What are they doing?
Giants will take the uncontested 5th Dragon. I believe this is actually their 7th Dragon of the game to refresh that buff. And Giants just pinged the middle lane. Giants are going to be very decisive from this. Reason have been cut off as well. And if they try and come in through here, Giants will look to pick them off. Giants just come up huge in that trade. Yeah, and Reason Gaming didn't even go towards the Baron either. They just kind of hung around in the jungle, and then he didn't pick that up. Now Giants have the 5th Dragon, and they're all healthy, so they weren't even engaged on past the last Dragon like it was last time, where Reason Gaming were able to punish them. Here comes the Equalizer. This is the engage that they want. Well, Werlyb, though, has the Guardian Angel this time around, but it's still very tanky. Xayoo gets dragged into the team. Not quite the priority target. Kubon jumps into the middle of the team. Wolby's on his up. Rydle comes off to the side. There comes the ultimate. The Cataclysm locks away Werlyb just for a couple seconds. Now Libik as well drops low. Takefun, what can he do? But Werlyb will take him out. The double kill comes out. xPepii will take down the kill. 5-4-1. Giants win this game. Giants have just completely pulled what should have been an upset after that Baron went down. and Reason should have pushed through, but Giants have managed to weather the poke. They have completely stayed in this game after a dominating lead, and they are going to take down the Nexus to put game 1 in the books.
What an insane first game. That will be Giants taking game 1 of this best of 5 in the EU LCS expansion lower bracket finals. That was very shaky for a while there, Stress, but they were able to take this game at the very end in a 56-minute slugfest.
Oh man, in that last fight, Adryh was just untouched for so long. He's 552 CS in that game, 6-4 and 16. He has been quietly working his way through, and Pebinero as well just output so much damage. And that Giants lineup got such a big lead early on that it's a testament to Reason that they managed to hold on. A couple of, weird little engages from both teams turned this game on its head multiple times, and man, you have to think going into game 2, this is anybody's series.
Yeah, both of these teams absolutely need a breather, but after that game, take a look at Adryh. We didn't actually touch on the CS there, but 552 farm at the end of the game. He was farming all the way through the game, even when they were getting harassed down. He was the one clearing out those minion waves, and you can see that there with over 500 farm. But what a first game.
Crazy first game of the series, and just decision-making there to get that 7th dragon of the game, refresh that buff and push through. Reason just needed to make some decision at the end.
Well, you've heard our thoughts, but we're going to shoot it over to the analyst desk to see what they have to say about